why are you going through so much trouble to announce you're running for mayor? I say just call a couple reporters, do the damn thing, and keep it moving.
I just want to be prepared for any questions that might throw at me.
Oh, yeah. Questions like, why are you trying to date an ex-con?
Yes, they may ask that. But look, I'll just say, I haven't been to third base yet, so unless we're planning on, changing that tonight.
No, I gotta see my PO.
You still have a parole officer?
Yeah, it's called supervised release.
Heads up, Councilman.
Excuse me, Miss Lyon. You need to come with us.
Step back.
No, I don't. I don't even know who the hell you are.
All right, stand down. What's going on here, gentlemen?
All due respect, Councilman. Your husband sent us, ma'am. For your own safety.
Come with us.
He's not my husband. Look, I don't know what he did this time.
It's all right.
Get your hands off of me. I'm sorry.
Look, it's just as sharply dressed as he is on the show, right? Look at that. That's very impressive.
Ryan.
Give a hand for the suit, guys. Hand for the suit.
Aren't they a handsome couple?
Yeah, absolutely. I want
Not for long.
I'm gonna get right into Empire because you're so great in it, man. And the show is so fantastic. It's kind of one of those things where I feel like you should have been on this show sooner because you're such a perfect fit for it.
No, I mean, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I was a fan. I was a fan of the show from its inception. I was amazed at how well it's doing. I still am very, very proud. So when the opportunity presented itself, it just made sense. And I think it's a nice. I think my character adds a nice kind of change from what they've been doing up to this point.
Yeah, and it's a great tone you guys get to play with, and the musical element is obviously a little bit in your realm as well.
Sure.
When they first came to you with this character, what were your thoughts? I mean, did they give you a quick pitch on it? Did they have pages already?
Funny story. Funny story.
Yeah, there we go. Hype it up.
So there were discussions, and then they discussed the character, and I agreed. But then nobody told me that the show. I live in L.A. And nobody told me that the show shoots in Chicago. And I have a son, so I wasn't prepared to move everything to Chicago. So I told them, I'm sorry, I didn't know. But they were nice enough to truncate my schedule to 3 days a week in Chicago. But these negotiations can go on for months, and in those negotiations, nobody had that sense of mind to ask where the show shot. That's how crazy Hollywood is, people. But luckily it worked out.
Yeah, so you were doing back and forth trips to LA to Chicago. That's pretty intense. So are you like rapping at night and then taking a red eye and that sort of thing?
It's a lot. But for a show such as this, it's definitely worth it. I have been fans of everybody on the show. Obviously, I've worked with Terrence. I've loved Taraji, but to work alongside of her has been a trip. She's a force of nature, and I'm very excited for people to see what she's capable of.
Yeah, I mean, she's really created something with this character of Cookie. Obviously, I mean, I'm a fan of her, all of her work. But tell me, is she in Cookie mode the entire time, or is it on set and she turns into Cookie and you have to interact? Change your interactions with her?
It's more of the latter. She's Taraji, and then she switches to Cookie. But it's a trip. Her. I don't know if people realize how funny Taraji is. I think that's a level that she's gonna show soon.
Yeah, and Terrence is a bit of a cut up himself. He's a character. I've had a couple conversations with him in the past, and tell me about being on this set and how you guys have fun killing. I'm sure it's a really fun cast to be a part of. When you guys are wrapped.
Regardless of how intense the scenes are, when they yell cut, people break out into song and teach dance class. It's a very talented cast. With Terrence, the first day I worked with him. We both just cracked up because we worked with each other almost 20 years ago in the movie Best Man. So it's really, really cool to kind of come full circle and to have somebody to reminisce with. Because at that time, we were both starting out. We were both really, really excited to be in the movies. So, after you've worked for a while, it's fun to have someone to kind of go back and remember how new everything was back then.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would be super excited to have the cast of Empire rolling on karaoke for me. You know, who's the best singer? What do you guys go to as far as if you guys are jumping into song? What's like the music that you guys all love?
Oh,
like,
well, it's always
mutually,
like corny, like music theater stuff. You know what I mean? Because that's the fun stuff. But one of the pluses of working with that cast is being there on a day where they film a live performance, because it's literally like a music video mixed with a concert. It's so entertaining, and all of those characters, they're actually doing what you see. So the level of discipline and rehearsal, it fascinates me. I'm still starstruck.
I mean, are you ever like, I think Angelo should have a singing part here or something like that? Do you ever want to get in on the music,
No, that's corny. No. I'm the corny old guy that goes up to the younger performers, and I'm like, hey, aren't you having just a great time? Aren't you? Isn't it so much fun? Because it's a trip. It's a trip, and there's nothing like it on television today. I think the show does a really good job at also keeping in mind social issues as well. They've always got their finger on the pulse, and it's got obviously entertaining, and I never get tired of just reminding people it's just really great to see so much color on screen as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure the fans were excited to see you join the show as well. I mean, what have been the reactions on the street?
Oh
I'm
man,
sure
I'm not as into social media as I should be, and I try to stay away from it just because the negative stuff. But I'm hoping that people are having a good time. I always like to believe if I'm having a good time, then the viewers are as well, and I'm having a ball.
That's awesome, and I'm sure you're having a ball dressing up the way that Angelo does as well. I mean, is the costume? Are they coming to you with these suits? I mean, you're impeccable in the entire show with the tie,
thanks, man.
I mean,
with my character, I enjoy looking good. Every once in a while, I wish that they could go a little further, but because of the character, I'm in politics. I gotta keep it conservative. So they do a wonderful job on that show with wardrobe. I'm forgetting my man's name.
Fantastic.
I'm forgetting, but the stuff that they have Cookie in every episode, every scene, is no joke. Very, very impressive.
Yeah, and playing a politician, it's a bit of a new world for you. I mean, did you study anybody as far as your character was based on?
Absolutely not. Absolutely. I'm a terrible actor. No, I always like to go off of what's on the page. It was described as an Obama-like character.
See that, yeah.
But it's been fun kind of making it up as I go along outside of what they give me in the writing.
Yeah, and so, I mean, we're starting to see this season's episodes roll out right now. I mean, what can we expect, coming down for Angelo? What people get excited for,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what's happening up until I read the next script, but the stuff that I've read, I think people are going to enjoy it.
That's awesome.
Some twists and turns. It's good stuff.
Always good television.
Man.
I love it, man.
Yeah,
That's
they're good
great.
at that. They're good at that.
And speaking, you're here in New York right now. You've been part of the theater world for so long. I mean, are you feeling the knack of coming back here for Broadway or something like that?
I was just lucky enough. I think the last time I was here, I was doing Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
Of course, he's fantastic.
Oh, thanks, y'all. And that role was life-changing. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. But at the same time, the most rewarding. I lived here. Now I'm back in LA, going back to TV. So I'd love to get back to theater. I'd love to get back to Broadway. I need a break though. I need a little bit of break because Hedwig tore me up.
Yeah, it's a grueling show for sure. I mean, what would you want to do next? What kind of show would you be interested in?
Oh man, I don't know. Maybe something a little bit more traditional. Without high heels. No offense to high heels and lipstick. But I'm a song and dance man, so something with some singing and some dancing.
I saw there was recently a trailer hit the web for the opening night, a movie that you're also a
Oh,
part of. Yeah.
oh, for real?
Yeah, exactly.
I forgot about that.
It's like a Broadway, it's a movie about a Broadway show opening.
Yeah.
Topher Grace and all these guys.
Yeah, that was a ball. That was a ball. I forgot. I mean, we did that like 2 years ago.
That's how movies work, right? It's like you shoot it and then you never know when it's gonna happen.
And then you just brought it up. I didn't even know what the hell you were talking about. And then that's crazy.
I do my research. Come on,
Good
man.
for you, opening night. Yeah. That's true.
But tell me, I mean, you play a bit of a Broadway character there. So I mean, do you remember what you face? Yeah.
I do remember it. I don't. I do. I play kind of an older Broadway performer that takes Topher Grace's character kind of under his wing. I'm kind of like the good angel on his shoulder, and I get to do a couple of numbers. Also, I think I get to wear makeup in that too. There's a running theme here. I don't know what's going on, but it was fun, you know.
For all the fans out there, guys, yeah, looking for that.
It's fun. Any opportunity I get to, to shake my ass and hold a tune, it's just fun because that's what I started out doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, tell me a little bit about, for the people who don't know, I mean, what got you, this has been a crazy path for you. I mean, people remember you from,
I feel really fortunate. I'm 45 and everything still feels new. But I started out at the performing arts school. Did it because it was something that I could do, and then college, and luckily, I haven't stopped. I haven't stopped since. So I've been able to do theater, TV, and film, and I'm just very grateful, thankful to still be kicking a leg up.
Yeah, I mean, do people come up, to you with your old roles and like bringing up? I mean, Stella got her groove back, all that. Obviously, people remember you so well from that movie.
It's true because I'm an actor and I'm vain and self-important. And lately, as I'm getting older, I'm looking at other people that I admire, and I told myself, I was like, okay, I gotta win some kind of an award so that I can say I left my mark. You know what I'm saying? This was more 2 years ago. I got really caught up in being able to see my name on a plaque somewhere, something that no one could take down, something that was proof outside of, just being in a couple of movies.
We need to get you an award, that's for sure.
But yes, you do. But just the other day, I was in Foot Locker, and a bunch of these young brothers from Omaha, there are black people in Omaha. I didn't know that. I did not know that. Like, for real, like, black people. And they were like, yeah, we're from Omaha. We big fans. And the dude said, yeah, man. And he rattled off 5 movies. And he said, and I was like, y'all saw those movies? And they're like, yeah, man, them the classics. And when he said that, I was like, oh, okay. That's cool. Like, so that to me, I was like, oh, like that was my mark. You know what I mean? The young people are watching these movies, and it means something to them. And that was moving to me. That was a little bit of a lesson.
Yeah, and speaking of young people, you got a little young person yourself now, right?
I do. He's in the green room. Yeah. Little
great.
Dude, love of my life. Yeah.
That's amazing. Is he seeing the movies? I mean, what is he regulated to?
Oh,
you've done some voice.
You don't care what I do. You know what? What's very impressive to him is are the people that I've worked with. Right now, he's on a Spider-Man kick. So I used to play basketball with Tobey Maguire. So with any movie that he sees, he goes, "Daddy, did you work with him?" And I'm, "Yeah, I did. Did you work with him?" "Yeah." Cool.
Oh, that's great.
Cool. I'm like, I know, but I was the star of the movie you don't care about that. Okay, cool, whatever. Yeah, it's humbling. It's humbling.
Yeah, he's transferring that importance. That's okay. You're getting the okay, All you need that Tobey Maguire signed photo, and then he'll be excited about it. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, when you're thinking about what roles you want to do later in your career, what's coming up? I mean, what do you think you want to do next? I mean, you've obviously had such a variety coming up.
Man, I take it as it comes. I was just thinking about this the other day. When I was a kid, and this has remained with me. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a superhero, a cowboy, a bodyguard, and an athlete when I was a kid. Those are the roles that I was.
Good list.
Yeah. So I'm still while I still have my knees, I'm still waiting on a couple of those.
Are there any? I mean, the superhero movies are rolling out. Are there any that you have your eyes on?
I don't know, man. I mean, a lot of them have been done. So I got to do my research or just invent one myself. You know,
Go invent one yourself, or just shout out Marvel. You know, come
right?
on, guys.
Oh, and tell them,
Let's get
oh,
you-
I like
yeah, there we
that.
go.
Tay man.
Kevin Feige will write something around you. Come on, let's get that together.
Who is that in that suit? Look out, brother. It's Tay man. Hey, sister. You need help?
I
That's
mean,
funny.
how do you view light, sort of balancing, coming here for Broadway, going to LA? I mean, where do you love to live? Where do you love to sort of study your art?
Man, I mean, I love New York. It's killing me that I just had to give up my New York spot. But I go where kind of life dictates. My son has started school in LA, so now I'm in LA. But at the same time, somehow I always get opportunities to come back to New York, and I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, it's amazing. And how do you keep up? I mean, as far as the vocal practice and everything like that, when you have like a Hedwig call, are you somebody who is like taking care of your
I wish,
instruments, pretty often? Or
I mean, luckily, it didn't take me that long to get back in the groove. But I should study more consistently. I don't. And thank you for making me feel bad about myself. No, I should.
And
I'll consider that.
Yeah, what's coming up next for you? I mean, I know you're talking a couple projects. I think you might have even voiced a Little Pony movie, My Little Pony movie.
I forgot about that too. Yeah.
Liev Schreiber. This is a crazy
I forget
cast.
how amazing I am sometimes.
You're a busy dude. You're
a lot
acting
of
like you
work.
don't do anything, and then I'm telling you your credits. Like, oh, I did that. That's right. Okay, cool.
Man.
But yeah, you got like Liev Schreiber.
Yeah.
Voiced the role for this.
Wait,
What was that?
say that again?
Liev Schreiber. That's how you pronounce his name?
Or Liev Schreiber?
Live Schreiber. Yeah, exactly. Different tomato, all that.
Exactly.
Stuff.
That's funny.
What's it like to go into a voice booth and
Fun.
try to
Fun stuff, man. That was another thing that was on my bucket list, was to be in a big animated film, and that was it's a ball. As you've heard, you can go in wearing whatever, and it's just you and the mic and the director, and you really can help create a character, and it's gratifying.
You've done that sort of stuff before. Are you someone who like looks at the photo, is like, what would this person sound like? Or are you going in there and just taking the direction as it comes?
I take the direction because in my case, they weren't done with the sketches for the character. So, and as an actor, it's for me, it's much more exciting to just create something as opposed to seeing an image and trying to fit that image. So it was a trip. I got to sing a little bit. It was cool.
Yeah, you've had your part on a couple of series where you've played a character for a while, or you've played a character for a couple episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you feel the line is? I mean, do you feel like you have a part in sort of creating that character eventually, or do you like to just sort of stick with what's on the page? When do you feel like comfortable like telling Danny Strong, like, I think Angelo should, do something?
Oh,
like this,
well, it depends. I try to feel out the creative because a lot of times you get writers that are very married to their own words, and if that's the case, then so be it. For me, the most fun experiences are when you're working with people that are more collaborative, and I think just as far as the art is concerned, you get more out of it as well.
Yeah, I mean, have there ever been something that you've added to a role, or something you brought into a role that you're specifically proud of, or something that you remember throughout your career that is like one of those moments,
I don't, because that's what I prefer to do, and I've been lucky enough to have worked with people that allow that. So it's usually not until after it's done, when I see it, that I'm reminded. But a lot of times, when I'm in the moment, I'm not even aware of it.
Yeah, and speaking of gigs outside of the TV and the film, I mean, you just co-hosted the Today Show.
All right.
And you're doing a little bit of that. You're so comfortable with that. I mean, have you ever thought about hosting something yourself? Or
I don't know, man. I mean, I've definitely thought about it. It's a fun time right now in the industry because the doors are wide open. There was a time when everybody kind of judged whatever medium you were doing, where it was movies were at the top, and then You know, then it was TV. Then after TV, it was nighttime TV. Then after nighttime TV, it's daytime. Then so, but these days, you can do. People are doing anything, and it's fun just to be able to have those options. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, you absolutely have more command of your content than actors have than ever before, you know? So when it comes to social media, I mean, you stay off of it as far as reading it, but, you know, when you want to share with your fans, you know,
Right.
your life and your experiences, what has that experience been for you, sort of building that community around, you know,
Yeah.
fans and everything?
Yeah. It's really great. I'm coming out with a bunch of stuff that's dealing with kids and parenthood, and you know that's been fun. You know, I'm also at an age where I'm very aware that I wanna say something that means something. You know, not just because it's trendy, but because I just, for whatever reason, I reached that point where I want to give back, and social media helps with that.
And you, speaking of children, you've written a children's book.
Yeah.
That's
I have a
amazing. If you
children's
guys
book
didn't know
series.
that, give us a little bit of what that book's
children's
about.
books that focus on self-esteem and self-awareness. So that's been fun as well. We're gonna go to the Dominican Republic next in 2 weeks and do some presentations down there and bring the arts to some of those kids. You know, read some books and kind of spread the message of self-esteem and self-love, self-awareness, inclusiveness, anti-bullying, all that stuff.
Well, that's some great causes right there. I love that.
Yeah, man.
Well, you guys have some questions out there, I guess. So yeah, right there.
Hey, it's great to see you.
It's great to see you.
Thank you. I would just like to know, as someone who's beginning their journey into the entertainment industry, what's one of the best pieces of advice you were giving that has really pushed you throughout your career?
In what capacity are you
That
traversing?
me
An
personally?
actor, a writer?
Oh, I say entertainer just to sum it all
Entertainer.
up because I kind of
Okay.
want to do everything.
Okay. Okay, I will say this. Be really, really good at what you do. And be ready for opportunity and confidence. You know, confidence so that you are unwavered when you come up against negativity. Be good so no matter when it happens, you don't have to worry. And then just be open because you don't know when an opportunity might present itself. Yeah.
Hi. Sorry, I had this question all figured out, and my mind is
Yeah.
scrambling now that I'm actually
That's
standing
okay.
up.
your
Well,
time.
I feel like you're like a chameleon, like as witnessed through everything that you discussed
Oh,
today.
thank you.
You're welcome. Congratulations. I actually had the opportunity to see you in Hedwig.
You did?
I did. Small world.
I feel, that was so special to me. I feel like you shared in a life transforming experience.
Well, it's great, and I think it's really great to see someone, you know, on TV and film and also on stage in that capacity as well. So what would you say are the challenges, but also really the rewards of film and TV versus theater?
Oh, okay, another good one. You know what? All right, it's the differences. The differences are the challenges and the rewards. So, when I had just been doing screen acting and I came over to do Hedwig, I had to get used to the process. So, the rehearsal, the actual getting my voice into shape. You know, it was a very, very physical show. So the rehearsal, I just had to get used to the rehearsal process. Even though that's what I was used to, and even though that's what I prefer, having not done it in a while, there was that transition. And then going back, you know, after having done Hedwig, and getting used to that audience reaction and the rush, you know, when you go on stage, the rush when you leave stage. None of TV and movies, they don't have any of that. So, you know, and I had to get used to that and not let it affect the performance. So the challenge is you know, going back and forth and kind of acclimating. you know, I almost feel like TV and film, it's more gratifying from an ego perspective where, you know, you get to sit back and watch yourself and kind of stroke your ego, whereas in theater, you're in the moment. You know, you have no choice but to be affected in the moment. And because you are in the moment, you don't have time. A lot of times you don't have time to congratulate yourself. And I kind of like that.
It's great. Awesome. Okay, one last question right there.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, hi.
Hi.
On the side. Hi.
I was wondering, was there any musicals or movies that inspired you to pursue either medium?
Yes. My mother was like she was a community theater actress. So I caught the bug just from watching her on stage and then, you know, messing around in the green room when I was younger. So, you know, she was in Ain't Misbehavin'. That was huge. West Side, she wasn't in West Side Story, but that was the musical that made me want to do what they were doing. You know, a bunch of guys dancing, so I didn't have to worry about, you know, it looking too feminine and whatnot, and singing these great singing these great songs, but still kind of being tough. You know, at that age, that gave me permission, you know, to want to take a dance class. What else? What else? Yeah, I mean, and then going to a performing arts school, you know, because a lot of the musicals I hadn't been exposed to, but once I went to school, I was taught. So it's been a journey.
It's amazing. Well, one more time for Taye Diggs, guys. Check him
guys.
out on Empire on Fox. And the books, the children's books, check those out. That sounds amazing.
Yes,
Yeah.
Chocolate Me, Mixed Me.
Thanks so much, Taye.
All right, y'all. Peace.